What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to become a god with the bow in Rust. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm not actually a god at using the bow in Rust. These are just a bunch of helpful tips and tricks and helpful information that helped me get better at using the bow whilst I was trying to train myself and basically improve my skill. And I've basically just combined them all together from all the Rust videos that I watched that showed me all these skills and tricks and put them in this video, and basically just included the most helpful ones that will make you improve the fastest. So if you do going to enjoy this video guys, then please make sure to drop a rating down below, comment something nice and subscribe if you're new. So without further ado, let's just get straight into this. So the first thing you want to do before anything else is make sure you're in a bow training server, like the one I'm in right now. There's quite a couple of them. If you just go into the modded section and type in bow aiming or something along the lines of that, a bunch will come up and you can join any one of them, and it'll just make it a lot easier and faster to get better with the bow basically. Now once you have joined one of these servers, from my experience, this is not from other YouTubers, this is what I found out, is don't stay in the server if you go for your dinner, because you will get farmed a lot, and I mean a lot. But anyway, with that out the way, let's just go on to our first tip. The first thing is movement. Movement is a key thing when using the bow, because not only does it make you in the long run better at aiming with the bow, it also prevents or makes it harder for your opponent to hit you at the same time. Now the reason why this in the long run will make you better at aiming is because if you can get good at hitting people with the bow whilst moving, which obviously makes it harder, then you're going to be really good at hitting people with the bow when you're not moving, or if they're not moving, because obviously they're going to be doing the same thing, so it's harder for you to hit them, if that makes sense. Now, there's a bit more to movement in terms of like jumping and stuff, but the basics are basically just moving side to side, crouching and jumping. And that's when you can start combining things together to make little sequences and make it just as hard as possible for your enemy to hit you and unpredictable. Now the reason I say unpredictable is because if you're just moving side to side and jumping once and then moving side to side or something like that, then they're going to pick up on that and it's going to be easier for them to hit you because they can kind of guess where you're going to go next. So if you're doing it more random, then it's going to be, they're not going to be able to pick up on any sequence or rhythm basically, and you kind of just want to learn how to do that. It sounds pretty simple, but it's very easy to just move side to side and duck, rather than make it a bit random. Now don't get carried away though, because if you're just spamming your keyboard just doing random stuff, then you're just going to find yourself not really knowing what you're actually doing, and probably just making it even easier for them, because you're probably not actually dodging anything, you're probably just spamming the keyboard and moving a couple inches every step because you're trying to move two ways at once, so it just doesn't really work. So with that out of the way, we can start kind of introducing jump shots and stuff. I'll put a clip in the background, but jump shots are not as easy as it sounds if you've never done it before. Now basically what you do is you aim, and halfway through aiming you jump and you shoot as soon as you've finished pulling the arrow back, and you should be able to get the hang of this pretty fast, but that's not all to it. Once you have got that down, you want to start moving left and right whilst doing it, because if you are just jumping up and shooting, then all they're going to have to do is aim a little bit higher, which is why moving left and right whilst doing it is even better, because you're moving to the side, which is dodging a possible arrow or bullet, and you're also getting a height advantage on them, which increases your chance of hitting a headshot, which could be what saves your life. Now this brings us on to our next thing, where I'll put a clip in the background again, where basically you want to, when you're not aiming, when you're not jumping, and you're just aiming, moving side to side and ducking, what you want to be doing is kind of aiming a little bit higher than their head and crouching every time you shoot. Now, what this does, as you can see in the background, every single time I crouch and shoot, I get a headshot. Because if you're aiming a little bit above their head and then crouch, it should line up directly with their head. Obviously, if they're moving side to side, you're going to have to track them at the same time. And it's a lot easier when they're stood still. But you get the point. If you are just aiming a little bit above their head and crouch when you fire, you should be hitting a headshot if you're on target. And the reason why you should crouch when doing this instead of just aiming at their head whilst stood up is because you're dodging and you're hitting headshots at the same time, which obviously is better. Now, the next thing I want to cover is to be taking your time, because if you're not taking your time, then you're going to find yourself just shooting randomly and just getting out of focus and basically just not hitting your shots because you're rushing and you're panicking. But if you're taking your time, then you're thinking, and as you can see, like when I'm shooting people, I'm not all the time, I'm not just like moving side to side, jumping up and down and crouching as fast as I can and then shooting in every single time I can breathe. You've got to kind of like pick when you want to shoot and make sure you know you're going to hit them instead of just randomly shooting at any point in hope that you're going to hit them. Because if you're just hoping or guessing or just praying that you're going to hit them, 90% of the time you're not, and they're just going to kill you a lot faster than you're going to even land 2 shots on them. So once you've kind of like got down the time and the calmness, like being calm whilst getting into a fight with someone is key. Because like I said, if you're not calm and you're not taking your time, it's just going to be a mess. So the next thing I want to cover is aiming. There really is no trick to aiming. There's no kind of advice I can give you about getting better at aiming overall apart from just practice. Like, the only way you're going to get better at your overall aim is just practicing over and over again and just keep playing, keep doing your thing, just keep on going, and you'll slowly see yourself just getting better at hitting those shots. It's not something that you don't have and then suddenly it clicks and then you have it. It just comes over time, over experience, and the more you play, the more improved you'll get at aiming. And aiming is an all-round thing. It helps with all the other things I've basically mentioned in this video, and you'll find yourself being able to hit more shots better in any circumstance when you've got your aiming down and you've practiced for a good amount of time just purely on hitting shots and making sure you're not missing, if you know what I mean. So that brings us on to our very last final tip, and that is to subscribe and turn notifications on, like the video and comment something nice down below. And if you do that, I promise you, you will become the I almost choked on my own word then. You will become the Odin of Rust, and trust me, no one can take you down if you do this. I'm not lying. And say if you do die, which you won't, because you won't. You just won't. Say if you do die, come back to the channel, watch my next previous video, like that video, comment something nice down below again, and then you will become Zeus. I'm not lying. You will become Zeus. And if that's not good enough, well then, Robin Hood. You will become Robin Hood. Yep, you heard me. You'll become the actual Robin Hood from Locksley. Yeah, he's from Locksley. You'll become Robin Hood. You'll never die. You'll never miss a shot. Okay? I think we're done here. I'll see you in the next one. Go subscribe!